Hi, this is Linda, and I'm continuing my Explaining American English series. This is series 2 within that, called Building American English Sentences. And now we're to lesson 5, and we're finally going to actually build a sentence. We're going to build a sentence based on Foundation 1. My sample was birds sing. Foundation 1 is just a subject and an action verb. And we're going to build on it adjectives, and for the verb, adverbs. We build on those two, adding adjectives and adverbs. I'm going to use these 3 verbs, but I'm only going to use them in the anytime form. This is run, fly, dance with I, you, we, they. And runs, flies, dances with he or she or it sentences. And I'm not telling you a specific time with the verb. Now, I may add to the verb that tells when, but the verb itself does not tell me when. It doesn't tell me whether it's past or future or present. The verb doesn't. So that's why it's an anytime verb. I can add to that to tell you when. So, in order to build, I'm going to need to use adjectives and adverbs. I think you know maybe what they are, but let's go over that. Adjectives describe the subject, or they describe a noun or a pronoun. They tell which one, what kind, how many. Adverbs describe the verb, but that's not all they describe. They can describe other adverbs, and they can describe adjectives, but adverbs cannot describe nouns. So the job of adverbs is to tell about the verb, how, when, where, why, how long, how much, something like that, about the verb. So they're adverbs. Adjectives and adverbs can be one word, or a phrase, or a clause. Now, what is the difference between a phrase or a clause? My beginning students won't really understand all about this, but some of my students will, so let me put this in here. A phrase uses more than one word to do one job, but it is not a sentence. For instance, in the park tells where, or in some cases, which one, but it's not a clause because it doesn't have a verb in it, and it doesn't have a subject-verb pattern, so it's a phrase. A clause uses a short sentence. In other words, it has a subject and a verb within it, but it only does one job in another sentence. Who are friends? Who is the subject, and are is the verb, so it is a complete sentence thought, but it's put inside another sentence. So it's a clause, and it will be an adjective or an adverb, not a sentence by itself. Okay, let's look at some examples. I don't know if I can get through all 3 examples because this is a lot of paper. Let me just pick up one at a time. Okay. Building a sentence using Foundation 1, we have a subject and a predicate, which the predicate is an action verb. The first example, boys run. I can't say a boys run, that's why it's in red. No, don't do that, because this means one, and this is plural. But I can say boys run. And I could say the boys, or these boys, or those boys run. What's the difference? Is there a difference in meaning? Yes. If I say boys run, I'm talking about every boy on the planet, the way I've said it. Boys, every boy, all the boys run. If I say the boys, that means I'm talking about a group of boys. There are some boys outside playing on the lawn, in the grass. Those particular boys. These boys or those boys. The boys run. I'm not talking about every boy on the planet. I'm talking about a particular group of boys. I can count them. The 2 boys, or I could say some boys, run. I can add just a descriptive adjective. The 2 young boys run. I can tell something about the boys to let you know which boys I'm talking about. Are the boys in the park the ones, or the ones in the yard, or the ones in the house? The boys in the park, that's who I'm talking about. The boys who are friends run. I put the commas there, which may or may not be needed. If you already know they're friends, then I would put commas because this is not necessary. But if I need to let you know which boys by saying they're friends, then this is an adjective without commas. That's just a little aside for those who are very advanced and want to know that kind of thing. The boys who are friends run. Put it all together. We're only building on the subject. The two young boys in the park who are friends run. Notice a one-word adjective went before boys. Two, young, and the introductory word, the. The phrase in the park and who are friends, the clause, they go after the noun, and this is almost always true. Single words before, phrases and clauses after the noun. Okay, and what happens if I describe in this same sentence, pretty much the same sentence, but I'm describing not the boys, but the running. The boys run fast. It's how they run. The boys run here. That's where they run. The boys run every afternoon. That's when they run. The boys run for fun. That's why they run. The boys run fast here every afternoon for fun. So all of these are adverbs talking about run. Now we put the earlier one with this, the two young boys in the park who are friends. Now this is there only to let you know I'm switching from subject to predicate. It would not normally be in the sentence. Run fast here every afternoon for fun. The two young boys in the park who are friends, that's the whole subject. Run fast here every afternoon for fun, that's the whole predicate. Now, if I switch to just one boy, it changes a little bit because now I have the other verb form. This is form 2, which is still any time. The verb doesn't tell you when. Unless I add something, you don't know when. And I need an introductory word. I would not say boy run or boy runs. I would have to say a boy, the boy, something boy. It's a concrete noun, and it's a common noun, and almost all of those need an introductory word, unless it's something very, very, very general, like water. Sometimes it doesn't. Words like that that are just very vague as far as which one you're talking about. But this is a countable thing. 1, 2, 3 boys. So we'd say a boy, which means one boy, runs. The boy runs. I could say this boy runs or that boy runs. These are introductory words as well as the. One boy runs. I'm counting now. The young boy runs. The boy in the park. This is an adjective describing the boy because the way I'm using it in the sentence, there may be more than one boy out there. One boy's in the park and one boy is in the car and one boy is in the house. It's the boy in the park I'm talking about. So it's which boy, not really where, but which boy. The boy who is athletic, that's a clause, runs. The young boy in the park who is athletic, that's all about boy. And then we get runs. Now if I do that describing the verb, it's the boy runs fast. How? The boy runs here. Where? The boy runs every afternoon. When? The boy runs for fun. Why? Put it all together. The boy runs fast here every afternoon for fun. If I put the description of the subject and the description of the verb, the young boy in the park who is athletic runs fast here every afternoon for fun. Everything up until this line is describing boy, and everything after these double lines is describing runs, and that makes a foundation one sentence. Now, I'm going to give you quickly, so this won't be too long, the examples that go with, see, this was the boy and the boys. Now we're going to do a bird and the birds, and that's representing the sky. Visuals help some students, some don't need it. Some it really helps to look at the picture and then say the sentences in your head. So I'm showing you how I would do that, sometimes in class, giving you a visual. Okay, here we go with subject, predicate, birds fly. More than one bird, so I can't say a birds. That's wrong. The birds or these birds or those birds fly. The two birds fly, or some birds fly. The two pretty, that's one word, red, that's one word, birds fly. The birds, now put it after birds because this is a phrase, with long wings. The birds with long wings fly. The birds that I see often, that's a clause, subject and a verb, clause. The birds that I see often, this is which birds fly. Now if I put that together, the two pretty red birds with long wings that I see often fly. One word adjectives before, phrases and clauses after. And the two lines, remember, are not supposed to be there. I'm just dividing it into subject and predicate. The birds fly high. The birds fly gracefully. The birds fly in the sky. The birds fly to escape the cold. Phrase based on an infinitive. Remember, an infinitive, to in front of a verb, it's no longer a verb of the sentence. Fly is the verb. But it's enough of a verb that it can have an object, escape cold. But it has a to in front of it, so it's not the main verb. This is a phrase. When fall comes, the birds fly. When fall comes, that's a clause. The birds fly high, gracefully, in the sky to escape the cold when fall comes. Put it all together. The two pretty red birds with long wings that I see often fly high, gracefully in the sky to escape the cold when fall comes. And one bird. A bird flies. Can't say bird fly. And I can't say bird flies. I have to say or the or this or that. A bird flies, the bird flies, that's this bird flies, that bird flies, one bird flies. The pretty red bird flies, a change to the S form of the verb. The bird with long wings flies. The bird that I see often flies. The pretty red bird with long wings that I see often flies. And with children dance. I can't say a children. Can't say a children. I can say the children or these children or those children dance. The two children dance, or some children dance. The two young children dance. The children in the park, it's which children dance. The children who are friends dance. And put it all together, the two young children in the park who are friends dance. The children dance well. The children dance there. The children dance every day. The children dance for fun. So the children dance well there every day for fun. The two young children in the park who are friends, changed to the predicate, dance well there every day for fun. But we changed to dances. A child, can't just say child. A child dances. The child dances. This child dances. That child dances. One child dances. Now I add an adjective. The young child dances. The child in the class, not the child outside, but the child in the class. The child who is talented dances. The young child in the class who is talented dances. Predicate, or the verb dances, I added the S because this is only one child, she. The child dances well. The child dances there. The child dances every day. The child dances for fun. The child dances well there every day for fun. And then putting both the subject adjectives and the predicate verb adverbs together. We've got the young child, singular adjective, in the class, that's a phrase. The young child in the class who is talented, that's a clause. Now we switch to predicate. Dances well there every day for fun. That's building sentences on just the subject noun and the verb. Okay, there's about time for a culture tip about water, all about water in America. Maybe not everything, but water, if you're going to consume it, drink it or put it as ice. Ice is usually preferred in drinks. If you ask for tea, it's probably going to be iced tea. You have to say you don't want it iced. Coffee is usually hot, and you have to ask to get it cold. But normally, we put ice in drinks. Also, water from the faucet in the home is safe to drink. That's by law. I know there was something in the news about one town that really messed up because they changed their pipes to an inferior kind and the water was not good. But normally, in a home, water is safe to drink from the faucet. You don't have to buy bottled water all the time or filtered water in your refrigerator, although most people do that now because they just like the idea of it being that much cleaner. But water from a faucet in the home is okay. I drink it all the time. It would be very, 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 very unusual for that water to have something wrong with it that would hurt you and your health. So if you drink water, if you're brushing your teeth and then drink the water at the sink in the bathroom, it's okay. It's okay to drink that water. You don't have to have bottled water all the time in America. An idiom. You hit the nail on the head. Here's the nail. I've got a hammer. I tried to hit the nail. I kept missing the head. I finally hit the head and the nail went in. Okay. If there is a problem or a question and you finally figure it out and you say it out loud, this is the way it is. Somebody says, you hit the nail on the head. You got the right answer. You hit the truth. So we say, you hit the nail on the head a lot when you say something correctly or you answer the question correctly, then you hit the nail on the head. I'm going to occasionally put in a pronunciation tip as well. Won't and want are not pronounced the same. Won't is more of a long O. I won't do it. And you need to say O so that we don't think you said want. Want is more open. Want. Want. Won't is more circular O. So in the sentence, she won't want it. She won't want it. Try to make those two words different. Won't want it. Okay, that's all for today. I hope that helps. See you next time.